Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good evening. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Let me see if I can compete with the music next door. When I speak in general, and when I speak about Syria, very difficult topic for me. I like to always talk of hope. Amal is with us today. Thank you, Amal. That was beautiful words. Thank you, Dr. Mazen, for the partnership and leadership from Hope for Syria. I like to talk about hope in the midst of bleak picture. My dear brothers and sisters and friends, when we talk about Syria, make a note of it, that you are living history. You are witnessing the world's most humanitarian crisis that we've ever known, as some describes. According to the chief of the UN, according to our recent history, we are actually witnessing the worst humanitarian crisis. Make no mistake about it. In numbers, half of the Syrian population is displaced. Let me put that in numbers. 13 million Syrians. These are names, first name, last name, addresses. They have been displaced. 7.6 million have been displaced inside Syria. The rest have been refugees. Some of these, on the average, have been displaced twice. Do you know what that means? That means if you lived in Damascus and you somehow were forced to escape for your safety and the safety of your family, and you escaped to Homs, for example, then you have been forced to leave Homs to go to Idlib. On the average, half of the population, 13 million people, 13 first names and last names, social security numbers, if you will. They have IDs. These are people like you and me, Muhammad, Ahmed, Mustafa, and Zeki, and what have you. These people have been displaced twice. 7 million children are living in poverty. And the numbers go on and on. And if you want to put it in dollars, some organization describes that, let me read it for you. The cumulative economic loss to Syria resulting from the conflict has reached $254 billion US. Any way you look at it, and you say, where can I see hope in this picture? And my friends, brothers and sisters, I say to you that we have to be resilient. If you look up the word resilience at Sheikh Google, if you will, you will see that Sheikh Google tells us that resilience, one of the meanings is toughness. In order to put this whole thing in perspective and to find hope in this, we have to be tough. But how do you achieve this resiliency? I would say, so did others. First, you have to acknowledge the problem. It is what it is. Neither you or I have created this problem. We can complain so much. We can say all sorts of things about there is no hope. what difference does my contribution make? Oh, this thing has no solution. This problem in Syria is going nowhere. And the excuses, as they accumulate, they become overwhelming. But nevertheless, to achieve this resiliency, this toughness, one must acknowledge that there is a problem. And then we have to reach deep down to every inch of strength that we have and go and reach into our faith to help us with this journey. This is important. So we have to acknowledge and we have to rely on our faith. We have no escape from that. We need some strength to help us go through this. For us, is reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is key for us. But then, to complete this cycle and to ensure that we are practical in trying to find a solution and practicing this principle that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran said, وَقُلِ اعْمَلُوا. You should work, take action. We are not responsible for the results. No one is asking us to achieve specific things in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects us to, with the right intention, to set goals and work towards them. And this is what the Syrian Forum does, my dear brothers and sisters. We know that the problem is complicated and we know it is painful. But we must try to find ways to build hope. This light is blinding me, so I do apologize. I'm not avoiding looking this way, but the light is harsh. So, at the Syrian Forum, and Brother Shahir, I know you need to come up. So we're fundraising tonight, so I do appreciate your patience, and I know we started late a little bit, but I see, alhamdulillah, that everybody is holding tight and will be on our way soon. At the Syrian Forum, we say the following. For anyone to put a plan and to do something constructive for the future of Syria, one must work on three things, three principles. One is that building the capacity of the Syrian people, of the Syrian individual. Second, you have to build the capacity of Syrian civil society organization. And third, you must build capacity of local administration. The last one is important because it prevents dictatorships from happening in the future. Local villages must be trained on how to handle their own affairs. Villages to towns to cities and what have you. Civil society organizations, for those of you who are not from Syria, and I do thank you for being with us tonight. Syrians were prevented from civil work. They simply were not allowed to organize. And as you know, here in the US, for example, just imagine the amount of work that civil society organizations do to complement the work of the government. Syrians are no different. We need to train ourselves and organize to do this type of work. And of course, building the capacity of the Syrian individual provides the foundation for future Syria. We do this, as you have seen in the video, through 6 specialized organizations. And I'm going to finish with some statistics. We have shared with you the annual report of 2016. Very soon, we will publish the, 2015. And very shortly, we will be publishing the 2016, inshallah. By the way, 2014, 2015, and this year, our books are audited by KPMG, so you know. Syrian Forum is registered in Turkey. Syrian Forum USA is registered here in the US, and it is a 501c3 organization, and the two organizations have agreement between them. Let me focus on two things so you can better understand our models. We have provided some cards with you to see some recent statistics that updates the one on the video. Just to give you an idea about how we operate. We make this claim and we make this commitment to you that your dollar that you donate to us is, in the grand scheme of things, is the most critical dollar. Why? Because we have the ability to multiply it minimum 10 times. Actually, if you see our statistics, we are able to multiply it 20 times and 30 times. In Ihsan alone, Ihsan for Relief and Development, this year, we will close the year where we have provided actual services in agriculture, in education, fresh water, sanitation, and you name it, in all of the relief sectors except health, where we leave it to specialized organizations like SAM and SEMA and OSAM. We will close over $25 million this year. In the last 3 years, 2014, 2015, and 2016, we have finished, in terms of value of project, over $63 million. The $25 million, it cost us $1.2 million. That's one side of the story. Second, Rizq is, thank you, Dr. Mazen, one more time. They helped us recently expand Rizq into Gaziantep. Rizq in a concept that we have established in Shanli Urfa. Turkey has 2.7 million refugees out of the 5 million, by the way. And these are the registered refugees, and these statistics are available at AFAD, AFAD. You can verify that. And by the way, about 276,000 live in refugee camps, and the rest are integrated in host communities in cities like Istanbul, Gaziantep, Urfa, Mersin, Antakya, or the Hatay region. So we started the work in Urfa. Like any other organization, prior to 2014, we were just like others. People knock on your doors. People need rent, they need food, and they need services. And we said this work is not sustainable. But what we should do is train people and help them find jobs. So in June of 2014, we've started the work of Rizq. Since then, from June 2014 until end of 2016, we have placed 6,900 Syrians in the job market. This is not just finding opportunities. These are people that we have identified, we've interviewed, we've created their resumes on our system, we have matched them with a job, and we have placed them on the job, and we kept track of them for at least 3 months. The story does not end here. So if you take your calculators out and you multiply 6,900 by the average salary of 1,300 Turkish lira, the average salary is higher than that actually on our statistics, but I like to use the minimum. And you multiply that by 12, and that's the salary for a year. And you divide by 3, that would be the average exchange rate US to Turkish lira from 2014 until today. What you will see that an operation that cost less than $1 million in 3 years brought into the Syrian community a renewable income of over $33 million a year. Something that cost us less than $1 million, 2014, 2015, 2016. And this is what Hope for Syria is contributing, or has contributed, to start the branch in Gaziantep. It's literally multiplying that $1 30 times. I haven't talked about the reason I mention Ihsan, the reason I mention Rizq, because I can translate their services, because these are direct services to the end user. Allah, when I talked about al-Busla, I can give you examples where people that they come and train with us. I give you the example of Ahmed in Idlib, a young lady, widowed. Her husband died. She has a son and a daughter, young, and looking for a job. And I tell you, one of the most important things that you could do is make sure that young women specifically have economic independence. At the time of crisis, at the time of war, they are very vulnerable. She received 2 training classes from us. At the time, unfortunately, we could not place her in a job in our organization, and this is in Idlib. Alhamdulillah, after these 2 classes, she submitted her resume to one organization and they hired her. $180 a month, she is secured. Wallahi, I'll tell you, and I'll finish with this. We have a family, a wife, and 2 daughters. They told us, rizq prevented us from haram. Just to give them this opportunity for economic independence, you are empowering them and you're putting them on the right path. My dear brothers and sisters, you look at this whole picture and you say, it's bleak, it's dark, these things will not make a difference, but we believe that the road to building Syria, rebuilding Syrian lives, it starts with building it one soul and one individual at a time, and this is what the Syrian Forum is all about. I want to thank you very much for being with us today. It's an honor for me to be in front of you, and it's a great pleasure to see that you have taken time out of your precious evening to be with us. And I, as always, very appreciative of the Chicago community and the Chicago-led community for their continuous support. Thank you very much, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you.